And welcome to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Stevens here from Vero Beach. We have the rematch of the 2024 opener. We have Eau Gallie Commodores and Vero Beach here. Terry, you called this game a year ago. How exciting is it to call it another year?
I'll tell you what, it's very exciting. It's so exciting that when I was walking in the field, some of the police officers stopped me and said, hey, we didn't forget about last year. We're going to be ready for this year. Every player has this game circled on their calendar.
Now, a year ago, we know Eau Gallie was hosting. They went on to win that matchup 29-27. Give us a little bit of a recap about that matchup. Obviously, a nail-biter, a dandy. What more can you ask for from the 2.6? But recap us a little bit about that matchup.
Yeah, so last year, both teams were evenly matched, so it was real tough. And a lot of the players, would definitely have to, feel each other out. And they're going to try to do the same thing this year. They lost a couple of players from last year, and so it's going to be interesting to see how these players play on the field. However, it was pure electricity. You could hear a pin drop in the stadium in Eau Gallie because the game was so tight and they didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Obviously, Eau Gallie won by 2 points last year. And like I mentioned before, Vero Beach had this game scheduled and circled all year.
I'm very excited to see this one, as Eau Gallie just a week ago went on and beat Plantation 38-24 on their home field for the kickoff classic. Playing really, really well. They have a lot of new faces on both sides of the ball, so a nice preseason win that getting the continuity together, getting everybody gelled in. The Vero Beach team, however, they had a 20-0 lead and allowed Miami Northern back in this game, and they finished in a 30-30 tie as the kickoff classics, do not go into overtime. We kind of went over off air the keys to victory for both teams, and I had them highlighted if you tuned in and saw our preview post for this game. But for Eau Gallie especially, starting fast is going to be so important. And it looks like we're actually about to get some pre-game food right now. Honey's wings and things here. Thank you so much. All right, I don't think the gentleman realized that we were live, Terry, but he just gave us our pre-game meal, so why can't we complain,
I am definitely not going to complain about that, and it was good to see that when he saw us coming in. He said, I want to let you guys, and I want you to try my meal, and let me know about that. So it was good to see that, get that hospitality. But his gentleman, he's actually from Brevard County. He told me he's from Eau Gallie, so it kind of worked out, even though he lives here.
Well, you have to really appreciate respectful, just like Vero Beach guys here. They have Chick-fil-A out here. They have barbecue out here. They have Coca Ice. They have fresh lemonade. They have Honey Wings and things like we just mentioned. And shout out Honey Wings and things for not only the food that they gave us, but wings, fish tacos, pork chops. You name it, they got it. So Honey's Wings and Things, a big time vendor here at Vero Beach, and they will be a spot. This is really, really good. This will be the spot, Terry.
I think a few people are jealous of us in the stands. They're looking at us like, how did these guys get the VIP treatment? Man, we're Space Coast Daily. We get that type of treatment.
Oh, yeah. So, once again, if you guys are just now tuning in, thank you for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. We are here at Billy Livings Field, home of the Vero Beach Indians. We have an exciting one on our hand. Eau Gallie Commodores, 12-2 season. They lost to Northwestern, but you have to be proud of the season that they have, a program-setting 12-win season. A year ago, Vero Beach went 8-4, which actually Eau Gallie was the start of a 3-game losing streak to start this season for Vero, but then got the ball rolling, winning 7 in a row, and they ended up losing in the regional final. But both these teams really playing with a chip on the shoulder, playing with an edge. And as you mentioned, Terry, they want their gift. So Vero going to be playing with ultra mega revenge on their mind.
Yeah, and in order to get that get back good, they have to have some key players that are going to be in these games. And obviously, we already know about one of the key players for Vero Beach, and that's a young man who's a sophomore. And his name speaks all, wonderful, Champ Mons. I had the opportunity to see this young man play as a freshman last year. I was impressed. I couldn't believe he was a freshman. So I know he circled this game as well. And I know he wants to make sure that he shows out for his home side. And what a crowd it is. There's a lot of people showing up, but this year they had some rain.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see that it looks like it's not going to rain anymore. And I'm going to knock on wood on that one. But this going to turn out to be a good game, good day. Both teams know what's at stake, and I'm excited.
Well, you mentioned wonderful Champ Mons the fourth. Wonderful Champ Mons the fourth is the #1 ranked quarterback in the class of 2028, just a sophomore, so he has plenty of years to go, but going to be one of the players to watch here for the Indians as he is leading these Indians really over the couple of years. So that's definitely a player to watch. If you are an Eau Gallie Commodores fan, you already know the name of Vero Beach. He's going to be in the forefront for the Eau Gallie Commodores. This is going to be one of their really key opportunities to win this game. And, Xavier's going to be right on the forefront of it. So, big time matchup for both squads. And really an exciting one for both of these teams, especially for everyone tuned in. So, as they get ready to do the national anthem here, we will take a break and we will be right back.
Smith. The umpire is Johnson Smith.
As you can see down, both these teams getting ready for the national anthem. Captains here for the Eau Gallie Commodores, number 0, TJ Monroe, number 11, Xavier Luis, number 12, starting quarterback for the Eau Gallie Commodores, Joseph Allen, and big number 51, Tyshawn Lamb. So both these teams still warming up a little bit. We will have right at about 7 o'clock kickoff. But an exciting matchup nonetheless. Here, the Friday Night Donkey Space News Daily, Terry Spain and Sam Garcia. They are about to do the national.
Getting within my reach is very good.
So we will be right back. their home team run out onto the field. Both squads really ready for this one. As I was mentioning just a moment ago, the keys to victory for both squads. First for the Eau Gallie Commodores, they need to be able to start fast. This offense for Vero Beach is going to put up points, while Eau Gallie does have a good defense. Bonds and company, they are electric, so they're going to be putting up points. So it's going to be very, very key for Eau Gallie to start first and then protecting the ball. Now, every team really wants to protect the ball and make sure that you don't have any turnovers. However, more important this year than ever. Last year, 2 turnovers, and really not really a factor, but a factor nonetheless in the game is protecting the ball. So this is going to be a really, really big importance this year, as you don't want to give any more opportunity to the Vero Beach team to put up points. So big time for both squads. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here, trying to get everything set in stone before the game kicks off. I do apologize in advance if you hear a lot of talking. There is a pretty full press box up here at Vero Beach, so we're doing our best as we can here for this one. It's just going to have to be the way it is. There ain't nothing I can do about it. I can continue trying to twist the boards around, but Vero Beach, Florida for the Eau Gallie Commodores and the Vero Beach Indians. Both teams looking really ready to take the field here. I apologize in advance for a lot of what you hear in the background. This is a pretty full press box.
Yeah, I like that outfit they have. Let's see if I can get me one of those. Dang, that's pretty nice.
They are nice, as Vero Beach is about to take the field here. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. We apologize for any technical difficulties. We have a press box here at Vero
Vero. So the
Definitely a big time game for both squads. I think one of the best games to watch around the state. Going to be a big one, and that one is going to be broadcasted by our partners over there, JC, Meyer, Jersey, and Sac Park. To the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. This is a big time game here for both teams, and it seems as if we're having a few technical difficulties. So bear with us in this one as we have
again, that was definitely not a good kick by the kicker. I know he was trying to put his entire foot in there. But didn't put him out. He's going to be excellent field for him.
So Vero Beach will start this possession out with amazing field position, as Terry said.
Watching, there's a lot of people in the space that are watching this game tonight.
I think there's going to be a lot of people tuned in, and we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. This is the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily from Billy Living's Field, Vero Beach High School, home of the Indians. So first down and 10 for the Indians, and it's going to be Champ Mons the fourth in the shotgun. And the bunch set right, but it looks like we're going to have a little bit of pre-snap confusion. The refs are going to blow the whistle and allow play to start. Champ Mons takes the snap, and he's going to throw right, and nearly. That was number 20 for the Eau Gallie Commodores. That was James Aguilar. Big time military.
James got his name. His name should have been gone. Because he would have went and hit his head on the goalpost if he would have took that one back.
Nearly a pick six for James Aguilar.
What a dangerous throw.
Very dangerous play right there by Champ Mons. But he will take a second down snap here.
Tell you what, though, it rained earlier, but the sun's out right now, so that's definitely a good sign. It's going to get even hotter.
Yeah, it is going to get hot. It's going to be hot and humid for this one. Third down for the Indians. That pistol look, it's going to be a hand up right up the middle, and he's going to be close to the first down marker, but he's going to be short. And what is the analytics here, Terry?
Go for it. I mean, you're almost at the 50, and you hear and rave about Champ Mons the entire season, right? I know Galle's tired of hearing about him, but Vero said, you know what? We're on our home court, home field. This is the first game of the season. We're trying to make a trend. We're trying to make a name for ourselves again this year. We're going to go for it.
So we have about 4th and inches for the Indians here. They are huddling up. Champ Mons wanting to create a good play.
Yeah, you gotta really trust in those big heavies that you have up front. You gotta make sure that those guys are gonna block. And it looks like they're gonna have everybody on the line.
Mons takes the snap. He's gonna throw it out wide, and it's gonna be a one-hand pass. And he's gonna get the first down. Wow, that was a big time play there by number 12, Marcus Melbourne.
I lined it up. He he's playing against the Isn't that something?
That is something right there. And that's a momentum play right there, because if you don't get that first down and Vero Beach gives up the ball and really plus field for the Commodores, that is a huge momentum swing early in this one. So Mons, with a fresh set of downs, is in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, roll out, and it's going to be a little shovel pass to number 8, the running back for Vero Beach. That's going to be number 8. Actually, I apologize. We did not get a number for running back for 8 for the Vero Beach Indians.
You know what? It looks like Eau Gallie's falling together, just throwing the ball to their running backs. I guess they have a lot of faith in their running back, because it's been the last 2-3 plays they've really tried their running backs.
Yeah, Mons is wanting to get them going early. So the throw is out wide, and that's going to be another big gain for Vero. That is number 4. Number 4 for the Indians, but that is another first down. And after almost going 3 now the Indians are in the red zone. Nearly in the red zone, and threatening to score on this first possession. This is going to be a really big time possession for the Indians if they can end up scoring in this one. So trips out at the bottom of your screen. Mons will take the snap, fake the pitch, and he's going to throw it to the end zone, and that is going to be knocked away once again. Number 20, James Aguilar on the coverage. It looks like they're trying to target Aguilar. He's not going for it, Terry.
I'll tell you what, Aguilar's going to give him a pick, because he's going to keep him busy all night long. And you know what? That was kind of I think my receiver is better than your cornerback tackle. So we'll see if he's going to try to attack you again.
So one thing to note is, yes, Champ Mons is very highly rated as one of the top quarterbacks in the country, class of 2028. But you do have to remember, he's young. He's going to make some, probably a little bit throws he shouldn't, maybe some errant passes. But nonetheless, he's got them ready to get into this red zone. And he's going to have to elude the pressure. And that throws low. So the running back, number 22 for the Indians, that is, once again, number 22 for the Indians. Now there's going to be about 3rd and about 7 for the Indians.
And I saw them good little kicker out here kicking, so I wonder if they're going to give him some love if they're going to get this third down.
Now a lot of Indians. And when we take that timeout, we will take a break and we will be right back.
Space Coast Daily is Brevard's most trusted news. Through spacecoastdaily.com,
Once again, here from Philly, living together, Vero Beach Indians hosting the Eau Gallie Commodores. We apologize for any technical difficulties, sound issues. Now a 3rd and 7 for the Indians. We just saw them take a timeout as they are trying to get the right play together. Mons is in the shotgun. And the throw is outside, and it's caught, but it's going to be about 3.5 yards short of the first down. That was Latravius Woods of the Indians on the reception. Latravius Woods, we've already called his name a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to hear his name all night tonight. He's probably one of their bell cows, so we'll definitely be hearing about him. Once again, it's 4th down. Let's see if they're going to be able to execute. I think they have a pretty decent kicker, so I don't know if they're not as confident or they're trying to get all the points they can get. They probably learned from last year. They're going to try to get 7 points every time they can.
So we're seeing another timeout by Vero. Already 2 timeouts in the first possession.
I think so.
We've already talked about it, Terry. This is a big-time game. Vero Beach wants this game back. So
Yeah.
taking 2 timeouts in the first possession.
Well, that's to show you how important this drive is. They want points and they want points now, you know. And I know that everyone will say, well, no, get a 3. Well, Eau Gallie's going to try to go for 7 every time, so I know they're trying to keep up and not fall behind this drive. There's a lot of people out here tonight.
Indeed, and if you are just tuning in to Friday Night Live from the Space Coast Daily, Terry Spain, St. Garcia here on the ball from Vero Beach, Dylan Livingsfield, home of the Indians. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into this one. We apologize in advance for any technical difficulties that you may be experiencing. We are actively allowed commentating a game, so that is actually remarkable. So 4th down and short for the Indians. Mon's going to take the snap. He's going to keep it. And I do not think he got there. It's going to be very close. And the referees, they were going to measure that. We're going to hear this. It's going to be a first down for the Indians. Now, way down the field, it's about 12 or 13 yards from a touchdown now for the Indians. Mons will take the snap, and that's going to be an offside on Eau Gallie.
Yeah, you got to watch. You got to be disciplined out here because, you know, Vero don't need any help, you know, and so anything he's giving them, they're going to definitely accept it, but
Big time play there for Vero Beach. They're going to get up 35 yards. Right. Mons will look over to the sideline. Waiting to take the snap. He's in the shotgun. For the Commodores, but as Terry mentioned, multiple Commodores there on the tackle, and that's a big sack to push them back beyond the 15-yard line. That's going to be a no tunnel screen. Big time play there for Vero as they score the first touchdown of the game.
yeah, but offensive
Corbin. And he's going to go. Xavier Corbin is going to take this kickoff 100 yards for a touchdown. And I have to say,
no, and I'll tell you what, Corbin looked like his older brother in that play. Listen, I'll tell you right now. And you know what? The people have no opportunity. You need more than the ball in the center. You know, that's all I think. If it's Gallup that was going to next year, he's like, you know what? I'm going to leave him off these guys, so I'm going to go ahead and let him take this lead.
so we already talked about Showdown, number one rated for that second player in this last 2028. You can argue that Mr. Xavier Corbin, X-Men Corbin, is the number one freshman in the country. I couldn't tell you why. You got to be on the line and ready to answer.
Yeah, he has my vote. I look. Anytime you can go on another team's field and run 100 yards back, thank you. I appreciate it.
What an answer for the Commodores as they go 100 yards. And the extra point is good. So now we have a 7-7 game. And as Terry and I mentioned, this might be the game of the week in the state of Florida. It's a game in the state.
Yeah, and it's moving up to it right now. It's 7-7, and that's in the first quarter. I'm going to tell you right now, we wanted sparks, we wanted electricity, and we got exactly that.
So, in a 100-yard return by X-Man Xavier Corbin for the Eau Gallie Commodores knocks this thing back up at 7-7. And that was one of the keys that I mentioned before the game for the Commodores. Starting fast, and you can't start any faster than that, Terry.
I'll tell you what, you really never hear the version thing, but you can feel what the sideline is telling you.
That's a good one. Yeah. That is a real good one. And you can tell that the Vero Beach momentum was just took right away from them as they marched down the field. Now with 5:40 left in this first quarter, it took nearly 8 minutes off of the clock, but in a flash in just about 12 seconds, and now the game right back up at 7. So with 5:40 here in the first quarter, we have a 7-7 ball game at Bill Livings Field, home of the Vero Beach Indians. And Sham Mons and company will take the field once again. He's going to be in the shotgun.
Yeah, I know Vero Beach is going to try to answer real fast with this.
So there's going to be a run on the right side, and there's a little hole in the nice 21-yard gain there. That is number 8 for the Vero Beach Indians. That's kind of how you want to start this game, is you want to establish the run game and open up the pass, because Champs can make all the throws, but he needs the run to open up the pass, as most teams do.
Yeah, and that's a luxury to have when you have good running backs as well. It's not all the quarterback.
Yeah. So that's another run right up the middle, and it looks to be about a 1-yard gain. It was stripped out late, but the referees are going to give him the 4th card.
You know, Vero Beach is, they're saying it's a run the ball. They have some big heavy stuff. Number 17, number 68. Those are some big boys. They're not medium-sized young men. And so if you have guys like that, you got all that beef on the front of the line, I'll run it too.
The run game is going to be crucial for really both sides, but Vero especially. Mons will take the snap. It's going to be a little pitch pass to Woods, and he's going to get smacked. Wow, the ball came out right there. And Commodore is saying it's out of it. The referees are going to see the ball is down.
I don't know about that one, man. We got hit so hard, I'm trying to let that ball go.
He got so hard. He got up and actually lined up on defense there for a second. 7 now for the Indians. And we saw this last drive. They got into these third down situations and were able to get enough yards to go for it on fourth down. Let's see what happens here. For the Vero Beach Indians, this is going to be the first punt of the game for the Indians. And a nice boot right there. They'll take a neat little stop bounce. He started up. This will be the first offensive drive for the Eau Gallie Commodores. And as we get ready to start that drive, we will be right back in just a moment.
Space Coast Daily is Brevard's most trusted news. Through spacecoastdaily.com and Space Coast Daily's social media reach, hundreds of thousands of people stay informed every day. Through Space Coast Daily's unmatched digital reach with the Space Coast Daily's direct mail newspaper and Space Coast Daily, the magazine in print, our loyal and engaged viewers enjoy free local news they can trust every day, and all at no charge, thanks.
We are back here. Allen is in the shotgun. He's going to roll out and to throw to the end zone. We're going to say he was out of bounds. Nice attempt there by Tate Johnson. Trying to catch him in the corner of the end zone.
Blocking us right now. Let's say give a shout out to Orville. Orville definitely watching us tonight. Tuning in, Orville.
Shout out to Orville and Steve. You think of Space Coast Daily, you don't think of Space Coast Daily without those two. So
those Hall of Fame. Those are my guys there.
Right there for the Commodores as they will be moving back.
Yeah, they got a little agent. I guess they must have saw that they're still excited about that play that they ran, and they still got a little agent.
team. There's a wide set. Before the snap, we have a timeout for Eau Gallie.
Yeah, Coach Sainz, he didn't like what he saw in the play, so he just said, you know what, in order for me to make this thing better, I'll run the ball timeout and let's screw it up this play. This is a tedious drive.
Now we've seen both teams take some timeouts, and I think it also really makes a difference. But nonetheless, watching this great game so far, Allen's going to roll out. He's going to take a shot right on the nose. They're going to say he's down.
That's what you call sacrifice, man. He was there, he got hit or not, he was trying to take me for the team. That's exactly what he did.
He was, and then it's unfortunate. It's like Allen's a slow. He took a shot right there, Terry.
Yeah, they try to punish him. Anytime they get a free hit on the quarterback, they're going to take it. And like I said, sometimes as a quarterback, you got to be disciplined. Right? I know you want to win and support your team, but if you play slide right there or just run out of bounds, live fight another ball.
Yeah, he would have had the first down if he would have stepped out of bounds, but he wanted the end zone, he stayed in the end zone. So an opportunity to score was cut short as quarterback Joseph Allen took a shot. And as we mentioned how talented Champ Mons is, Joseph Allen is equally as talented, so this is going to be a big-time loss if he's unable to come back. And as we are waiting for this update injury, we are going to take a quick little break. So Joseph Allen limping off the field, and it's looking like he's unable to do it under his own power. So potentially a foot and or ankle injury. So that is a humongous loss for this Eau Gallie team that really started out with a lot of momentum. So it's a big time loss as you lose your starting quarterback. And I mentioned a moment ago, Champ Mons, they're really talented senior quarterback. This young back to the 3-star and holds many offers as he is a 2027 junior. He'll be a senior next year, still another year to go. So big loss, and we're going to have, it looks like Xavier Larice is going to be in at quarterback. This is Mr. Do-It-All, so he's going to take the direct snap, and he's going to spin. Wow.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he was flying on that as well, but
there goes the chippiness. The last thing that we need is fighting, and it looks like we're going to have some extracurricular. As Larice was already in the end zone, that was an unnecessary shot there. Not sure who took it for Vero, but when you give up a touchdown, especially on a move like that, then it's kind of hard to not hold those emotions back.
Yeah, and
You should.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about the loss of Eau Gallie quarterback. This changes a lot of things because now you're asking Xavier Larry, who's put in your quarterback, to do everything. But he's also your wide receiver, so he can't throw it and catch it and do everything all in one. So I'm anxious to see how the coach is going to adjust. I hope this young man can get back in the game.
Well, it seems as if Maurice just took the up snap there and picked it up and blocked. Momentum play there, but Eau Gallie nonetheless takes the lead 13-7 here in the first quarter, 2:25 left. So Maurice took the up snap there and was able to score as Allen, it looks like he's going to be out indefinitely for this one. But they were warming up number 15, Brody Brantley, who is a senior. I'm assuming he's their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So it looks like he will be taking the snaps from here on out. But I'm assuming they're going to take Mr. Allen to the locker room and wrap that ankle until it can't be wrapped anymore and see if he can come back out.
Yeah, and one thing he has on the side is youth. You know, if that would have happened to me, I'd have been out 6 months, you know, in the over 40 club. But, yeah, we're going to see if he can come back.
Just warm to the ball there, and then the little pooch kick actually worked as number 11 for Vero Beach. That was actually Mr. Trying to get the number here. That was number 11, Ephraim White, who actually is committed to Florida State.
The great Florida State, by the way.
As a Gators fan, I can't say the great Florida State. But no, nonetheless, he is a very talented player committed to the Seminoles. So, taking over from the 30-yard line will be Champ Mons.
And they smell blood, saying, they know that their quarterback is out, so they're going to try to do everything they can to score.
They will, and that's going to be a deep pass. Oh, wow. It looks like they're going to call Maurice right there. It was either a defensive hold or a pass interference. I'm a little bit surprised about that one because usually if the pass is not catchable, they wouldn't call that, and it looks to be a little bit too far out of the reach of the wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I might be one of them home field calls.
That was right up by right on the field for them. So it's going to be an automatic first down for the Indians as they will move up to the 45-yard line. And now starting with a fresh set of downs and really great field position. I think this is a prime opportunity for them to take a shot at the field.
Oh, they see it. And one thing that's open, if he sees it, it's going to be the middle. So if he kind of drags that wide receiver into the middle, he'll have an excellent throw there.
Mons motion to the running back as he's trying to get his guys organized. It's going to be a play-action pass. Mons is going to go down the middle. It's incomplete, but just as you said, Terry, the middle was open.
I'll tell you what, right where it needed to be, the wide receiver.
Yeah, so it's the same play there. But that's you are just tuning into the Friday Night Talk Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spains and Garcia from Bill Living's Field, home of the Vero Beach Indians. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. I do want to apologize in advance for any technical difficulties or sound issues you may be experiencing. We are trying to troubleshoot and work through those issues, so apologies in advance. Mon's going to take the snap and he's going to go deep down the middle. That is going to be caught. That is number 12 for the Indians. That is Marcus Melbourne, who we just mentioned a moment ago, Terry. Marcus Melbourne has made a couple of plays, and really that's seeming like the number one target right now for Mons.
Yeah, and like I told you before, they're going to attack that middle. They're going to keep attacking it because it's wide open, and the coach needs to make
That's going to be Melbourne again.
And where do we throw it?
Right in between the hash marks. And that's going to be a and you see he's not attacking our guy number 20 Aguilar on the outside anymore because he knows that might be an interception if he does.
Yeah, he's very poised though. For to be a sophomore, he's definitely very poised, and that's going to be a tough start. That could be on the quarterback or the running back, both of them did.
Lawrence did not want that to be a false start, but it was anyways. So they will regroup here. It's going to be 1st and 15 for the Indians.
Like we mentioned before, we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. There's a lot of people that are tuning into this thing. Rightfully so.
That was actually a nice run there by number 8 for the Indians. He called his name a couple of times already. But good run there as he was stopped and was able to fight and get a couple more yards. So setting up about a 2nd and 13 for the Indians. Mines is going to take the snap. It's going to be a play action. He's got the guy right up in the middle of his hands. It's Melbourne again with the catch.
I'll tell you what, if we're going to have to move him up from Melbourne on the way,
But as the first quarter comes to an end here, the women's field home of the Vero Beach Indians, it is the Eau Gallie Commodores lead 13-7. And as we head to the second quarter,
Space Coast Daily is Brevard's most trusted news. Through SpaceCoastDaily.com and Space Coast Daily's social media reach, hundreds of thousands of people stay informed every day. Through Space Coast Daily's unmatched digital reach with the Space Coast Daily's direct mail newspaper and Space Coast Daily the magazine in print, our loyal and engaged viewers enjoy free local news they can trust every day, and all at no charge thanks to our successful advertising clients, and also at our special events at Space Coast Daily Park in Vero, where hundreds of thousands of people see our clients' advertisements. Call today to get your message seen on Space Coast Daily and take your business to new heights. Get launched with Space Coast Daily. Call 321-323-4460 today.
So we are back here at Billy Living's field, home of the Vero Beach Indians. It is the Indians that have looking to tie the score here as the Eau Gallie Commodores are holding a 13-7 lead. Mines is in the shotgun. And he's going to take the snap and he's going to... 11:56 in the second quarter, so still a lot of time. And as the game was 29-27 just a season ago, we might be closing in on a very similar finish here. As this team is going to be back and forth matchup that we have. They will have to. So we have a big time game here between both teams. This is the first week of the prep football season. Some great games across the county. If you are tuning into this one, thank you again. And if you want to see another great game, the Cocoa Paradise game is being held live by Jason Mills on the South Park from Merritt Island High School. Cocoa and Merritt Island, what a dandy, Terry.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's trying to beat the king, and Coco's the king, so you're going to get everybody's best game every time you play them. I don't care if you get 0-3.
It's going to be Xavier Corbin once again on the return, and it was looking like he might have got this thing again as he was bouncing around there.
Yeah, it looked like he put like gasoline on his jersey or something because it's hard to tackle that young man. But just to think that he's a freshman. Eau Gallie's in for a treat because they have that young man for the next 3 years. You're telling me what he's going to be able to do in the upcoming years. Right now, he's showing a lot as a freshman.
He is showing a lot, and it's going to be exciting to watch a player like that over the next couple of seasons. But anyone that's now tuning in, you missed earlier, it was Joseph Allen, the starting quarterback, down and out for the Eau Gallie Commodores as he tried to run in the touchdown. It looked to be an ankle injury. Not sure the exact update on that one, but we are having number 15, Brody Grantlin, will step in for the Commodores.
And they look a little confused coming off, rightfully so, having a new quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they see them just run the ball, quite honestly.
Kind of a slow snap, the handoff to, that is Yusuf Francis. Get about 2 yards on the game, not much, but get a couple right there. I think the main thing right now, and this is the second point that we made and keys to victory, is protecting the football, Terry.
Yeah, and you don't want to be one-dimensional here, too. We know that you don't have your starting quarterback here, but you still got to put points on the board. You still have a great team. Go out there and display that on this other team's field.
I think if Vero Beach settling in your quarterback on the road in a hostile environment like this, you want to get him some easy throws. So don't try to do too much, but get him comfortable enough to make some throws. That was a big time play right there.
You know what, Zane? I don't like that center quarterback exchange. Coming out real high and real slow. Just give the defense an opportunity to go. That's what they're doing. They're timing it, and then knowing that the ball is coming out slow, it's just an opportunity to get that ball.
It's very difficult to come into a ball game, especially in this hostile environment, and be able to just pick up where your starting quarterback who's really been the guy from last year and to this year. It's hard to pick up where he left off. So Eau Gallie trying to get a couple plays, momentum going, and there's going to be a pump fake, and he's going to throw it. And he actually had a man open there, wide open. He had Lucas Vaselli wide open, but it's going to be incomplete. And you just see a little bit of hesitation there for Graham. You're not as comfortable coming into a game, especially this magnitude. So I think it'll take coverage on it. So hopefully, as the game progresses, you're going to see comfortability from your backup quarterback.
Yeah, and you just got to go ahead and give him some more reps. So what he should do is come over on the sideline and keep throwing the ball. I'm quite sure he didn't think that he was going to be coming in this game today. But as a backup, you always have to be ready. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see the coach make a shift and probably play Vero Beach a little bit in
high punt. It's going to bounce and taking a Gallie bounce a little bit. That's some extra going on right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of frustration. Gallie, definitely clawing and scratching against the other team. And you know what? We mentioned this before. These teams know what's at stake. They don't really like each other. when I told you when the police officer told me that they had this game circled, I knew it meant business. And that's what Eau Gallie is trying to, that's what Vero Beach is trying to do. They have their home court out there, home field here, everybody out here watching. And they're going to try to embarrass Eau Gallie. And now they smell blood in the water.
They do. So that penalty actually will go against Vero Beach, and they're going to take a couple of steps back. So as the play for Eau Gallie is about 30 yards, 35 yards, you can tack on another 10 to that and make it about 25 points. And that will run the Indians right about their 29-yard line. So with 9:47 left here in the second quarter, the Vero Beach Indians will be taken over from their own 29-yard line.
That middle is wide open again, and but I like those. They're going to try to test out their running back. Don't think they're second that quarter. Don't see that middle. They have to cover down. Anything can happen.
You can see down below just how it is being to the sideline. He's out of the presumably he's done for the night, and he has a big ice pack on that knee, so it seems as if that could be a knee injury. We're hoping it's not too serious. That's not a player that you want to be missing for the season.
Right, and what a loss. You know, I mean, we only had a lot of hype around him. We all stem from that quarterback.
It is. So Miles going to take the snap, and he's going to keep it. He's got room to run down the left side. And he'll stand there for about 20 right there. Yeah,
I came up limping off of that one.
what a storyline we have here, Terry.
Unbelievable.
We have both of the backup quarterbacks now in the game for each team. And how will this play out?
You know what? It all depends on chemistry. And it all is going to depend on which backup quarterback is the best. And we'll see what Eau Gallie has. I don't know too much about their I don't know too much about their backup quarterback. We're about to see right now, guys.
So it looks to be number 11, Ephraim White, the Florida State commit, is going to take the snap. And he's going to hand it off. And there's room to run through the woods. And he stands up for about 13 right there. And if you can run the ball, then you don't even need hands to throw.
Yeah, honestly, they're taking them out. Like they may be taking them out. I don't know if they're taking them out or not to the sideline, but, you know, very unfortunate. But if you could do that without your quarterback, that's got to be obviously.
Yeah, they're checking on lines. He's sitting over there on the sideline of the Indians. And that'll be a humongous loss, too, if he can't come back in this one.
It looks like it might be a cramp.
So White, and that's going to be the type of play right there that O'Gallie needed as they tried to hand it right back off the field.
And obviously, the coach don't have that much confidence in his backup quarterback because he's not throwing the ball. He looks like he's going to run it. Backup quarterback still in the game. Looks like he made complete the stride.
So Ephraim White, who really is their starting wide receiver, is now going to be taking the snaps for the Indians while Mond is out, and they're working on Mond. They would love to see him return into this game, but if he's pulled something on that sideline, you won't receive Wisconsin. So White will throw it, and he had a man, and that is going to be high.
What a catch. I mean, the throw wasn't that great, but the wide receiver made the quarterback look good right there.
Yeah, the throw was a little low, and it was away from the wide receiver, but he was able to make the catch. That's a big-time play right there if you are the Indians.
They do it to hurry up here.
So Ephraim's going to roll out, and he's going to run it. And not much room to run there. Of the Vero Beach Indians, they are right down to a 1-point lead over the Commodores, who just last drive we saw Joseph Allen, the quarterback of the Commodores, end up leaving with an apparent knee injury, and that's a tough loss. So they hand off to the middle, and that's a it was about a gain of 12 once again.
That's Mr. Do It Everything. You know, this young man, whatever they ask him to do, he's executing on all phases of the game. And so that's a luxury to have, especially since the quarterback is out.
It is. You are Vero. That's really what you want to do now. Is just run the ball. You don't need to throw it. You're getting 200 yards a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, Zane, you and I can run through those holes right there. You think you still got it in you?
I could probably, that ACL is quite 100%.
Yeah.
I could probably
Hey, it's big enough for you. So.
I'll be able to get up to 5 yards.
You know what? I tell you what. That young man stepped up and did what a hit.
If you are Eau Gallie, this is a humongous stand right here. Now on the 6-yard line, 25 minutes. You want to have time to go out there and score again, but if they score another touchdown, you have your backup quarterback, and we're not sure exactly how that's going to look. You really need to step into a field goal.
Yeah, this team has, this defense has brick walls and even brick walls. Right?
And a touchdown for Vero Beach as they score the touchdown. That's pending, but that's a big swing right there, Terry.
Yeah, and I tell you, I mean, Eau Gallie, their defense is stacked up pretty well, but even big balls have cracks, man. And that's what they get their cracks.
I mean, I've been even study for it. I got 92 on it. 4:43 left in this first half, and Vero Beach is now Vero Beach about to kick off. And this is a really crucial drive for Eau Gallie as Brody Grantland wasn't really able to get much going on that last drive. And we did miss a guy open. He had Pacelli down that middle on a post route wide open, but was unable. So the kickoff here will be out of the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. And really, if you're Eau Gallie, you would have wanted to see X-Man Corbin catch that and take it to the house like he did on that first military.
And it's smart. So definitely should have figured out how to do it.
So if you did miss the first touchdown, as well as Xavier X-Man Corbin, he took a kickoff up 3 yards for a touchdown. That got that game going. I think that's good for a really good finish once it gets there.
Yeah, and I think they
They're still going to keep in Brampton.
calm them down a little bit, get them some high percentage throws, see, him get in the middle.
Donovan Richardson is going to be in there beside him in the shotgun. High snap. Nowhere to throw it, and he's going to take the sack. They need to talk over what the offense needs to do to get going because I really don't think Xavier Luis is who you want behind center, but you might have.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he's an athlete. He's going to make plays happen. Nothing against him at 15, but quite honestly, he's not getting the job done. It's not all his fault. The defense is having to feel there because the ball is coming out.
Side.
That needs to come out a little bit faster so that the quarterback has an opportunity to throw the ball.
And this actually reminds me a lot of back in 2017, 2018. When you saw Jason Corbin, he had to take over for Rockledge at quarterback with some injuries there, and you saw he was an athlete. He made plays, and that's kind of what you need now from Mr. Luis. Take some snaps and just really set every role.
They'll take it.
They're like, hey, earlier, so now we're going to give them some Chick-fil-A on the other side over there. That's a spicy chicken sandwich.
That ball probably should be from the end of the run.
Reed's taking the snaps now. You do. So Reed's going to be now in at quarterback for the Commodores. It's another high snap. But the handoff is to Corbin, and he's got room to run. And my goodness, pure Eau Gallie. Why is Corbin not touching the ball more?
Yeah, he's not touching the ball more because the defense is putting 7 in the ball. But he was able to get that with that ball's high and slow.
It is high and slow, and you wonder if the snap count cadence is so much different from Allen to all these other guys that he's just not being able to realize when that snap is supposed to happen.
Yeah, and he's probably doing a basic snap count. He's not going to do anything fancy. See that?
Wow, and that's a high snap nearly over his head. Reese is going to fumble the ball and pick it back up. somehow managed to only lose about 3 yards there.
Yeah. So now, I got to think about the center. They don't have to look at the because you don't want to put the game down. You don't be down like
Yeah, if you're Eau Gallie, and that's now going to set up second and about 20. You have 3 minutes. Put the ticket down, 3 minutes till halftime. Don't need to rush.
don't need to get any other
Yeah, that's how. Final timeout right here. I think it's a really good time to take this timeout because that snap, as you mentioned, going over the head, that's a really, really big concern going forward through 26.
Yeah, and this is a good thing. You have to call a time out here for Eau Gallie because now you got to give your center some opportunities out.
Let them have them down.
You want to put points on the
They're
board.
out.
You don't want to be the quarterback.
Gallie's out.
So if I was the quarterback, if I was the coach, I'll tell the quarterback and the center, hey, give it to him smoothly and just throw that thing down there and let one of the playmakers catch it.
Well, I mentioned a moment ago, and I think it's important to remember that with him coming into this game and trying to get some rhythm going, just throw some easy little deep up passes. You don't need to go 25 yards on 3rd and 25. And I think, in my opinion, this is the perfect time to set up the tunnel screen that we actually saw the Indians score on from about 20 to 25 yards out. You let everybody on that offensive line say, yeah, you can go sack the quarterback. We're going to slip Xavier Luis under there and keep him to run down the field and hit his head on the goalpost.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens. You know, I definitely want to see the center quarterback.
Roll out. And he's going to escape out of there, fall down. The timeout's not taken by Vero Beach.
Well, you know, that's one of them, that they feel confident in their quarterback, that he's going to come back out here and they're going to swing the ball down the field.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You would think that they want to save as much time as they can, but they're going to let that time roll down. And I think they're going to be getting this ball probably in left field unless we see it. We have actually Luis is back there punting for Eau Gallie, so if you see a boomer, which that's not the punt that they would have liked. It takes a decent bounce, and it looks like they're going to stop it. They're at about 49-yard line. So 7 left in this first half. Vero Beach has really only at 25 yards, and they're in field goal range.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, I did have an opportunity to see their field goal kicker out here kicking 30, 40 plus yards, so I know they feel confident in letting him get a try at it if they're able to get down there.
Very, very crucial for the Commodores right here to get something positive to end the half on. You're not happy with obviously Joseph Allen being injured and not being able to return to this one, but Rice is out of the opening. He is gone. That is some speed right there.
Yeah, I know they're watching this game right now. Springfield, and you have earlier.
So a 51-yard touchdown there by this is really not what the Gallie just did. So unless we see another kickoff return for a touchdown like earlier in the second half.
Yeah, and quite honestly, you see a lot of the players on the Gallie side hanging around. The coach needs to rally the troops and say, hey, this game is not over. You know, we won last year by 2 points, and we can come back and win this game as well. Because as you noticed, last week, we talked about this before, Vero Beach had a 20-4 lead on the team. And we don't know.
seconds left in the half. And this isn't really what you wanted for the Commodores going into half. Now, if we do see another dynamite return, you got to notice that you can't complain, but an unfortunate situation. Joseph Allen wanting to make the play, trying to get into the end zone, tackled out at the 1 yard line with an obvious knee injury as he is out of this ball game for who knows. I hope it's not too serious of an injury. We missed that multiple times, but a visible injury to the knee. He is out for the rest of this one. Brody Grantland took some snaps. Reese took some snaps, but overall, not really the continuity between the center and the quarterback that you would like. So that's going to be something at halftime that Chris Sand is probably going to stress there.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the things we need to tell the team is that we're down, but we're definitely not out. First game of the season, we're down by 15 points.
So it's going to be a boot kick, and they're actually going to kick that one out of bounds. They do not want to see Mr. Corbin take another one to the house. So they kick it out of bounds. And 5 seconds left in there. I'm not 100% sure about this Eau Gallie kicker, but I think that you're going to be. It looks like Chris Sands decided to make it still do this, Terry, but it looks like they're going to have him re-kick it.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that. I thought that
So a re-kick going to happen for Vero Beach. It'll be placed at the 35-yard line. I think Chris Sands was like, re-kick that and kick it to Corbin now. Because he's already shown dynamite and he could take this to the house if he finds a crease or two. But I think we're going to see another pooch kick. And this one probably not going to go to Corbin. It's going to go to the Reese. They are.
You got to put points on the board. I mean, for 45 seconds, you got to come up with your top players on the field and see if you kick it.
25 seconds. They're down now at about the 43-yard line. So 43, you're talking about 30, maybe 35 yards to get into field goal range if you are Eau Gallie. So they're going to send Brody Grantland back out there. And once again, they don't need him to play hero ball, just get a couple completions, and hopefully you see a good snap from the center and a play that's able to function the way it was supposed to.
That looks a whole lot better.
It was a little bit better. It's going to be a deep ball down the sideline. And that
looks like I leave the game, just throw it out there.
Yeah,
they're going to do that for the next week.
That's exactly what that was. It was throw it up there, 50-50 ball. We'll see what happens. If I'm Eau Gallie, I'm getting, Corbin, Luis, they're going to get a two-game go involved and try to get them in something quick. These guys have speed and will make plays after the catch, so that's what I would be looking for if I'm the coach for Eau Gallie. And that's exactly what they're going to do. He's going to set that tackle and be able to move that to nearly midfield. No timeouts left for Eau Gallie, so it looks like we're going to go to halftime. Yep, Corbin is hurt on that play. You do hate to see that one. I'm not sure what they were supposed to. I mean, that was a force call, clearly. No call right there. So they're going to run the clock, and we're going to go to halftime with the score Vero 28, Eau Gallie 13. We have a halftime score that is really kind of dependent on Joseph Allen being hurt, Terry. That was such an unfortunate thing to happen, but you have to commend Eau Gallie for still sticking around and fighting in this ballgame.
Yeah, and now you have one of your other top players that are hurt, so you hate to see that.
So we thank you all for tuning into this one. It looks like the Vero Beach band is going to be taking the field here. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here with the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. We are going to let the Vero Beach Indian Band do their thing, and we'll be taking a short, brief break.
You guys got any word on QB?
He's sitting over there. He's got some. Yeah. You got to mute. What the hell he put on this dude?
Welcome back here to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here for the Vero Beach and Eau Gallie game halftime here. And it looks to see that Eau Gallie is trying to fight back into this one in the first half. Quarterback Joseph Allen going out with a knee injury, seems to be severe enough that he will not be returning in this ball game. X-Man Xavier Corbin, was shaken up on that last play of the half, but he will be returning. It seems to be just a more wind knocked out of him. So luckily for Eau Gallie, that's what you want to see. You want to see your main players still back in this one. But overall, this first half, we started out with an electric first quarter as the Vero Beach Indians were able to march right down the field, about a 6.5 minute drive. But then in one play, Xavier Corbin, X-Man Corbin, takes it 100 yards and knots this game right back up at 7. And then we actually saw a huge 65, 70-yard play from none other than Oregon commit Xavier Larice, able to get Eau Gallie in scoring position, and it was the play that set them up, really. It was Joseph Allen going to the left side of the field, and he really tried to dive into the corner of the end zone and was unable to get there. A little bit banged up, and we thought that he would have a moment or an opportunity to come back in this one, but it's just not seeming so. For Vero Beach, they were able to answer right back, but them themselves are now battling the quarterback bug. It was Champ Mons who was limping off the field after really a nice scamper for about 20 yards, but came up limping. So Ephraim White for the Indians took over and really just managed the game. And that's what you can ask for, or all you really need from a backup quarterback is just manage the game. Don't try to do too much, and he didn't. He ran the ball well and was able to put a couple touchdowns on the board for the Indians, the last one being a 51-yard scamper for a touchdown. So now holding a 28-13 lead, Eau Gallie will get the ball to start the second half, and they're hoping that Xavier Larice, X-Man Corbin, and a couple of other guys, TJ Monroe, Tay Johnson, Donovan Richardson, those guys can answer the bell, because when you lose a quarterback like Joseph Allen, it can take the wind out of the team. And they're hoping Brody Grant, the backup quarterback, Brody Grantlin, they're hoping that he can just come in here and manage the game. You don't need to be a superstar. You don't need to come in here and make a whole bunch of plays. The playmakers will make the plays. Just get the playmakers the ball in space, and that's really the key for Eau Gallie. So we're about ready for the second half here. Before we start the second half, though, we want to thank our sponsors. As always, Eastern Florida State College, for the benefits of going to a 4-year university that has 4 campuses. You can go to the Palm Bay campus, Cocoa campus, Melbourne, Titusville, all around great school. I actually go to Eastern Florida State myself, so I can attest to the great school that is. Auto Expo 95, Erdman Automotive, Health First, and All Points. We like to thank our sponsors as always. Terry, any comments or words about that first half and really what Eau Gallie is going to have to do to get back in this one?
Yeah, Zane, Eau Gallie's just going to have to, they can't scoreboard watch. You're down by a significant amount of points, but the game is not over. The momentum is all in Vero Beach's favor right now, but you can still go out, and show this team, hey, we beat you last year, and we're coming on your turf now, and we're going to beat you this year. But I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a tall task because Vero Beach is on cloud 9 right now.
They are, and we mentioned earlier in our broadcast that just a week ago, Miami Norland came in here and was down 20-0, but fought their way back, and that game ended in a 30-30 tie. So you can't say Eau Gallie's out of it just yet, but more or less, Vero Beach has momentum, and with just a minute left in this first half, they were able to score on a 51-yard rushing touchdown. So a huge, huge momentum swing going into half. But Eau Gallie is not going to give up just that easy. They're going to be right back and ready for this second half. So once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here at Billy Living's Field. And Terry, we couldn't ask for a better night for some Friday night football.
Yeah, the weather's great. The fans are here. First game of the season. You can't get any better than this, Zane.
A packed stadium all the way around. Eau Gallie faithful showing out. Vero Beach, of course, bringing their best. So a great venue and a great turnout all around for the first week of the prep football season. As mentioned, it's going to be the Commodores that will take over in the second half with the ball. So Eau Gallie pumped and getting ready to take the field. And this is a really, really big half right here, as the first game of the season isn't going to make you or break you, but if you come back with your backup quarterback and win this ball game, that is a tall tell about your football team. What do you say, Terry?
Yeah, it definitely is, but you're going to have to do this without your starting quarterback like we talked about before. But then also we don't know the status of Corbin, who's been their engine that's been keeping them going as well. I know you went down on the field to kind of check out on some of the players. But like I mentioned to you before, Zane, they can't just watch the scoreboard and say, okay, now we're down, we're out. You're Eau Gallie for a reason. Show them.
Yep. So the second half getting ready to kick off here. 28-13 as we start the third quarter. Vero Beach getting ready to kick off. We're going to take a look at some scores around the county as we're kicking off the second half of our ball game, and it's going to be Corbin taking the kickoff. He's going to go outside and pick up about a nice 30, 35-yard gain. He's going to get them out to about the 35-yard line across the county. If you are tuned in elsewhere, are tuned in here, we have a 13-7 lead in the third quarter. Heritage leading over the Titusville Terriers. And one game that people were really, really wanting to see was the Cocoa Tigers and Merritt Island Mustangs. That is a 10-7 game at half. If you'd like to tune into that one, that is also on the Space Coast Daily Facebook page. And, of course, the Backyard Brawl, Rockledge and Vera, is 21-7. So second half here, Terry, we still got an exciting ball game ourselves.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to see how this center exchange looks a lot better. Looks like there's going to be a flag, and I wouldn't be surprised as if this could be a false start here.
That is going to be a false start. It was a quick snap, so the movement right there was not registered right away. But they're going to be moving back 5.
Like a legal shift we had here, and I saw it. I thought the referee was going to let it slide, but it was like, no, we're in week 1. We're ready to roll.
Yeah, they are ready to roll, and I'd like to give a shout out to this Vero Beach venue that they have here. If you ever come out to a Vero Beach game, they have a wonderful treat for you other than the football game. They have Chick-fil-A here. They have barbecue. They have Honey's Wings and things. and they have some shaved ice, which a couple of people around the stadium with shaved ice in their hand enjoying a cold treat as the humid weather is still surrounding us here, but nonetheless, a beautiful night for football.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like I said, I'm so glad it's not raining right now, because that would have deterred a lot of these young men from playing, because as we saw some injuries before on the field, it's definitely a tough break.
So the snap goes to Corbin, and that's not going to go anywhere as the swarm of Indians take him down right about the line of scrimmage. He's probably going to lose a yard actually on that one.
And just like I mentioned before, you don't want to be one-dimensional. You can see how Vero Beach is moving up, and they're stacking all these men in the box.
Yep.
If you're one-dimensional, then that's going to kill you the entire night.
You'd like to see Brody Grantland, the backup quarterback, come back into this game, but I don't think you really want him to be taking too many hits either, because then you're stuck with no quarterback. Ball came out on that one as Larice was running it up the middle.
Yeah, and he was holding that ball very loosely. All it took was somebody just to knock it out of his hands. And it's like Vero Beach has the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be Indian football, so a big hit right there. Larice coughs it up, and the Indians now are looking to seize momentum as they take over at the 30-yard line. If you're a Vero Beach Indians fan, that's exactly the way that you would want the second half to start.
Yeah,
so,
Zane, like I mentioned before, momentum doesn't wear a jersey, but you can tell what sideline it's standing on.
You really can, and the Vero Beach sideline jumping with joy, the fans clapping, cheering. They're now trying to calm down as Ephraim White is going to take the snap.
Yeah, so I think they're complacent with not starting Champ again. And you see it, the field is still a little slippery because the running back, kind of slide a little bit here. And that's all due to that rain that we had. We had a lot of rain here earlier.
We did.
And I think more so than anything, Vero Beach is being very cautious with Champ Mons because they saw how devastating that injury was to Eau Gallie's quarterback. So as long as they're winning, I think they're going to be fine with just keeping the talented quarterback on the sideline.
Yeah, I think you gotta play with caution, and if Champ Mons has maybe a little hamstring strain or not really a serious injury, but something bad enough that you don't want to rush him back in this game, you got a long season ahead of you. So Ephraim White is going to run right up the middle, and he's going to gain about 6-7 yards. And if you're Eau Gallie, I think you got to take a little play out of the Vero Beach Indians playbook and stack the box. I don't see Ephraim White really a threat throwing it, but he's got speed, so you got to protect the middle, you got to protect the outside.
Yeah, and speed kills. And I'll tell you right now, it's been a long time. I've called a lot of games for high school football. This young man is probably one of the fastest I've seen.
Speed does kill, and he's been able to show a lot of it. So that's going to be a first down as Latravius Woods takes the carry for about 5, maybe 6, but he gets enough for the first down. Helmet popping off there for Mr. Jaden Jordan. He's going to be tracking off the field as they replace a couple. 8:30 left here in the third quarter as the Vero Beach Indians are looking to score another touchdown and try to increase this lead. The Commodores kind of with their back against the wall here, but I think the issue is really their offense. You know that Vero Beach isn't going to do much.
I told you he was shifty, Zane.
Yep, there's Ephraim White. And I have to say, Terry, they were playing that horn before he even got in the end zone because they knew what time it was.
Electrifying.
Wow.
And I have to be honest with you. Florida State is getting a treat. This young man has committed to Florida State 2 years ago. And so if I'm Coach Norvell, I'm just sitting back, just smiling, watching this young man shine.
Ephraim White with about a 16, 17-yard scamper there for the touchdown. It looks like we have a Commodore down in the end zone over there. And if you're Eau Gallie at this point, now down 21 points, I think really what you have to do is kind of what we talked about with Palm Bay a week ago. Don't look at that scoreboard and just play. And when they get back on offense, you do want your playmakers to touch the ball, but I think you got to get Brody Grantland back in there, get him some confidence, because those easy throws is how you build up to the bigger passes, and you can't just continue taking direct snap after direct snap. And, oh, no, that is not what you want to see for the Commodores. The player down was Xavier Larice, who's now in the corner of the end zone, out of bounds, getting stretched out. It might just be a cramp, but he is on the far sideline being stretched out. You'd want to hope that's just a cramp, but if it's not, that is a killer for the Commodores. That one is blocked.
Yeah, and you would hope that it's just a cramp. And if it's a cramp, you got to give that young man some pickle juice. That'll definitely help him out a lot. That's what our coach used to do for us when we caught cramps, but we're really hoping that it's just a cramp and not no hamstring or anything right now. And if the game gets out of hand, and it's not out of hand yet, but if it gets out of hand even more, you got to think as a coach, do I want to play my players for the rest of the game right now?
Well, I think, and especially in a game like this where there's so much emotion going into it, all these guys, they want to play. They want to play the entirety of this game. But you still have a long season to go. They're going to have the Rockledge Raiders come into town next week. And let's be honest, if you have some little tight little injuries that are minor, you don't want to make them major.
Yeah.
You got a long season ahead of you. If you got a guy that's maybe tweaked an ankle, tweaked a shoulder, or have some little minor injury, sit him out this game, rehab it, and get him ready for the rest of the season, because this is going to be a long season.
Yeah, and this is the reason why I told you that I think Vero Beach is complacent with just sitting Mons, because they understood exactly what you said. It's a long season. If we're up and we're winning, just sit on the sideline, son, and enjoy the victory.
Yeah, Champ Mons the fourth, Showtime nonetheless. Wonderful, terrific, amazing, great, whatever Mons you want to call him. He is the number one ranked quarterback in the class of 2028, and he made some plays out here tonight, but just did a little bit too much on that scamper. Probably tried to make a move with acceleration and tweaked it. It looked like the hamstring, Terry. So that's not an injury that you take lightly.
Yeah.
And there's a nice run up the middle. I think the direct snap is that Xavier Corbin? No, that's actually 0 TJ Monroe that took the up snap there for about 7.5. You don't want to be one-dimensional, Terry, but if you can get a couple different guys that are dynamic the ball, then you kind of got to go with what you got. So another direct snap there to TJ Monroe, and he's got the outside. And that's
got away with a face mask as well. That should have been a face mask there as well. I saw that. Referees didn't see it, but it was clearly obvious that was a face mask, Zane.
Yeah, the entire Eau Gallie staff on that sideline going like this, reaching their hand over their face as to say it was a face mask. They're not going to get the call there, but nonetheless a first down, about a gain of 15. So big-time gain there for TJ Monroe. And it looks like they're going to have this bunch formation set up for quite a while because the ball is going to be on the ground. It's not going to be in the air much. So the carry up the middle is to Corbin.
And you know what? Even though that they have that formation, I would love to see them pass out of this formation as well. I mean, that would throw Vero, because Vero is just moving all their men up to the front. If you could just throw one over their head, that's exactly what you're going to need for the momentum. Look how close they play this line of scrimmage here.
You know, that formation almost looks like a pass play formation that I'm really familiar with. The jump pass signified by one and only Tim Tebow.
I guess we'll go there.
The score here is 34-13. Vero Beach leading 6.5 minutes left in this third quarter. We're going to have an officials timeout, and as the officials take a timeout, we will be taking a brief timeout ourselves, and we will be right back. Welcome back here to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here at Vero Beach, home of the Indians. This is the first down snap. The carry is going to go to Corbin, and he's going to get about 3. But as they get ready to take the second snap, Terry, who do we have watching right now?
We have a lot of people watching, Zane. We want to thank Miss Alberta Wilson for watching. Eddie Brown, who actually I think lives in Tennessee, but he actually is from Vero Beach.
Okay.
So he went to Vero Beach, and, this is his hometown. So thank you for watching too, Eddie. Steve Roberts. We got a lot of people online, but thank you all for watching and helping and seeing these young men lay it all out on the line.
So for the people that are just tuning in, quarterback for the Eau Gallie Commodores, Joseph Allen, was injured in that first half. So you're probably not going to see too many throws or passing plays for the rest of the game. You're going to see a lot of this bunch formation run. But I think Terry and I both are on the same page that if you do put Brody Grantland back in, you need to move the ball around a little bit.
Yeah, and number 0 for Eau Gallie is kind of walking off kind of generally too. I mean, injuries, and this happens a lot during week 1 when you get in that game time hit. But, it's just unfortunate to see some of these players go down like that.
So 3rd down and 8 here for the Commodores. They're going to line up in that bunch formation. You can kind of already guess it's going to be a run play. The direct snap is to Corbin. He's got the outside, and that's a horse collar tackle. Yeah. But they're not going to give it to him right there. I think that was a missed call there, Terry.
Yeah, there's 2 missed calls that we saw. One was a face mask initially, and the other one was a horse collar. And it's unfortunate that these refs missed that call. When we want to protect these young men as they're playing out here on Friday night, you have to make those calls.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's Honey's Wings and Things that are protecting them with those really good fried pork chops and wings.
Oh, my God.
The refs are not going to call anything for the Eau Gallie Commodores. So a 4th down and 7.
And you have to go for it.
You do. You're down 3 scores. Corbin throws it up, and it is dropped.
There's a flag on the field as well, but the receiver stepped out of bounds. But I guess he tried to gain, his place back in. But there was a flag on the play as well, Zane.
Yeah, we might be seeing a pass interference.
It might have been a holding, but either way, it's going to go against the defense.
So, yes, a defensive pass interference there is going to be an automatic first down for the Commodores. A sustainable drive right now for the Commodores with 4 minutes left here in the third quarter. Still a lot of time, Terry. They're down by 3 scores, but as long as you just continue chugging along, that's what matters most.
Yeah, and it's going to show you how strong this team is. If they can come down here and score a touchdown with some of their key players that are hurt, if they come back and win this game, it'll definitely be a bonus for this team.
Larice goes around the corner, picks up about 2. We're going to have about a second and 9 here for the Commodores. We just went under the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here from Billy Living's Field, home of the Vero Beach Indians.
They call this a Citrus Bowl as well, don't they?
The Citrus Bowl. I know the Citrus Bowl as the Orlando Citrus Bowl. And that's going to be Xavier Corbin right up the middle, and he's going to bounce off of a tackler and pick up about 15. So if you're the Commodores and you want to continue keeping this game close,
give Corbin the ball.
Xavier Corbin
or Laree.
And Larice. That's the players that you want with the ball. So it looks like we're going to have an injury timeout, a cramp there for the Vero Beach Indian. And as you mentioned earlier, Terry, if you have the cramps, you probably need some dill pickle and mustard Gatorade to wash you down and get you right back on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that or not these day and age, but quite honestly, when it's hot like this, you expect these cramps and stuff from both teams. So I'm not surprised at all.
Well, it is a 3-touchdown lead for the Vero Beach Indians, but driving is the Eau Gallie Commodores. They are at the 10-yard line, or we call it the Mike Erdman red zone. So they have a chance to make it a 14-point game here, or if they go for the 2, a 13-point game, which frankly, at this point, you don't care if it's 6, 7, or 8 points. You just need points.
Yes, and you need them fast.
Corbin takes the snap up the middle. He bounces off a tackler. He's going to get outside, and he is going to score.
I tell you what, he looks just like Jay Sean, doesn't he? And to be honest with you, balance.
That was a really, really nice run there as you saw X-Man about to fall back, and he kept the balance and was able to bounce it outside and score a touchdown there. So now the freshman phenom with his second touchdown, and against a state program like Vero Beach, this is a kid that is going to be talked about all season long, Terry.
Very special. And you know my word from last game, what was it? Stick-to-itiveness?
Stick-to-itiveness.
That is exactly the word that you would describe for Mr. Corbin.
So it looks like they are going to go for the 2. Xavier Larice is going to be the up snap man, and he is going to be just short. It looks like he got to the inch-yard line there and was pushed back. So with 3:33 left in the third quarter, that's a lot of threes there. It is 34-19. Vero Beach still holding on to a 2-score lead. But if you're Eau Gallie, this is exactly the type of drive you needed. You needed a drive that, number one, you're going to put up points, Terry, and number 2, you wore down the Indians' defense in the process.
Exactly, and you can see the players on the Gallie sideline. Initially, they had their heads down when they were in the first quarter, but now after that score, these young men are dapping each other up and doing everything else. So I'm excited to see that as well. Now they have to make up for it on defense. You go down here, you get a stop, you get the ball back, and you go score again.
It would be a big score if they're able to force a stop. And we saw Vero Beach score relatively easy after they recovered that fumble. So a lot of time left in this ball game still. We're down to the 3:25 mark here in the third quarter, as the Vero Beach Indians will still hold on to this 15-point lead for the time being. And it is going to be Ephraim White still in there taking the snaps. It's about as much as you can ask for a backup quarterback, just taking the snaps, bouncing it outside, and getting 15 to 20 yards every single time, Terry.
Hey, it works for me. It works for you, right?
It's going to work for FSU in a couple years, too. Ephraim takes the snap. Latravius Woods with the carry. He's going to pick up about 4, maybe 5. Ticking down close to the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter.
You see Coach Sands on the sideline coaching his players up. It's good to see that. You know, he's all in these players' face, getting them hyped up and getting them motivated. I like to see that.
He knows that this team still has a lot left in the gas tank, and with a 4-quarter ball game, anything can happen. So he's going to step back to pass, and he's got a man deep, and it is caught. That is number 10, Xavier Stinson, on the catch for Vero Beach.
Wow.
Stinson's first catch of the game, but we were bound to hear his name. That's the UCLA commit here for the Indians. It was just a matter of time, Terry.
Yeah, I know the Bruins are happy. They was like, yeah, do more. We want more. We want more.
Why not take a player that's reminiscent of Jeremiah Smith that we just saw right there, able to high point the ball? What a big play. Ephraim White doesn't need to be accurate. Just throw it up in the area. Stinson's going to go and get it.
Yeah, most definitely, and that's exactly what he did. And you remember I was telling you about that, and that's some of the things that Eau Gallie's going to have to do. You know, both teams have backup quarterbacks in there, but you see how they threw that ball down the field? You have to do that the same exact thing if you're Eau Gallie as well.
You do. Ephraim White's going to take the snap. And that's a major face mask. That's not even a face mask. That's a helmet rip right there.
Oh, my Lord.
And number 8, Ramir Davis, is going to be easily called on that. You hear the oohs and ahs from really both sidelines, as that's a dangerous play, Terry.
Yeah, that's very dangerous. And I'm so glad that the young man was able to pick up his helmet and not be hurt on that play. That was definitely a grab.
It was. So obviously a penalty and an automatic first down for the Vero Beach Indians. And they will move the ball all the way up to, I believe, the 20-yard line is where they're going to place it. Yeah, it'll be placed on the 20 left hash mark. So they are in the red zone and threatening once again. The Indians trying to put another score on the board right before the end of the third quarter. We are down under a minute.
Once again, Vero Beach got those big heavies up there, Zane. I tell you what, that's what they're going to try to run behind their big heavies, especially like they right guard there.
Ephraim White taking the snap. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and it'll go for, say, about 3-4 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 7. I think the time is going to run out here on the third quarter. Players will be holding up the 4s as we enter the fourth quarter here from Billy Livings Field, the Citrus Bowl. Vero 34, Eau Gallie 19 as we here enter the fourth quarter. Thank you all once again for tuning in, and we will be right back with you in just a moment.
Space Coast Daily is Brevard's most trusted news. Through spacecoastdaily.com and Space Coast Daily's social media reach, hundreds of thousands of people stay informed every day. Through Space Coast Daily's unmatched digital reach with the Space Coast Daily's direct mail newspaper and Space Coast Daily the magazine in print, our loyal and engaged viewers enjoy free local news they can trust every day, and all at no charge thanks to our successful advertising clients. And also at our special events at Space Coast Daily Park in Vieira, where hundreds of thousands of people see our clients' advertisements. Call today to get your message seen on Space Coast Daily and take your business to new heights. Get launched with Space Coast Daily. Call 321-323-4460 today.
And welcome back to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. We have the start of the fourth quarter here from Billy Living's field, and that's going to be a sweep to Latravius Woods. He's going to cut back through the middle, and it looks like he was stopped right about the 2-yard line. They were already buzzing that horn like he scored.
Yeah, because he thought he was going to score too, but that was good tackling by the defense. You know, they didn't give up on that play because it looks like he was going to see nothing but green pastures, but that hole closed up real fast on him.
So about down to the 5-yard line. And this is make it or break it time right now for the Commodores. You really need a stop. If you can stop them to a field goal, you're still it's still a 3-possession game, but you're still kind of in it without having to go for 2-point conversions. Ephraim White in the center. He's got trips down at the bottom of your screen. He's just going to take the direct handoff, and he's going to be tripped up right about the 3-yard line. So a shoestring tackle stops Ephraim White from scoring another Indians touchdown.
I tell you what, it's bend don't break defense here. I mean, you know they're down at the goal line, but this will be one heck of a stop if Eau Gallie can have an opportunity to stop Vero Beach here.
And about this time in the game is when you're going to see the clock being used against them. So we've already bled off about a minute and a half in this fourth quarter, and they're going to take their time as they hold a two-touchdown lead. And that's going to be an offsides called by number 8. That is Ramir Davis.
I don't think you can move it any closer, so.
Well, usually they let you get as close as you can, and you can get over the line and get back if you are not seen, but he was obviously seen right there. So we're going to do it again, and they're going to move a little bit closer. So now we have 2nd and 1 from the 1, and they're going to bring a third-string quarterback in. That was a very, very confusing play right there. I'm not even sure what happened, Terry. They just had a player just running out onto the field. I think that's supposed to be a false start.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what happened was 6 points. That's what happened. And you know, I think everybody's still kind of shocked about that play because it was kind of a strange play, but nevertheless, they gave Vero Beach the 6 points.
Yeah, Coach Sands and staff are not going to be happy about that one, as a Vero Beach player just ran out onto the field while the ball was being snapped. Illegal motion, illegal shift, false start, whatever you want to call it. It was something. But nonetheless, 6 points, and now 7 for Vero Beach, and that will boost their score to 41 as we have a 41-19 ball game here from Billy Living's field, home of the Indians. And I think when the game ends, you're going to see a lot of people saying, well, if Joseph Allen, but you got to give credit to Vero Beach. They've showed up tonight, and what did you say before the game is they want that get back, and right now they're trying their hardest to finish this one up in style.
Yeah, and they can say Joseph Allen all they want, but then Vero Beach can say Champ Mons didn't play. You know,
Yep.
they went out roughly about the same time frame.
Yep.
But it goes to show you how much Vero Beach really wanted this game.
Yep.
Like I mentioned to you before, they came up to me when I was on the field and said, hey, we're going to take this game. We want this game bad. And it shows right now where Vero Beach is up 41-19.
So a now 22-point lead for Vero Beach with 9:39 left in this fourth quarter. And we've seen crazy things happen. This ball game is not over yet. But right now, Vero Beach looking pretty much in control of it. They're going to make sure it doesn't go to Mr. Corbin. They're going to kick it up. It's going to be a fair catch by Donovan Richardson, and they'll take over. Do they send Brody Grantland out there, or do they just continue to run the ball? Because at this point, I don't think you can run the ball, Terry. You got to score quick. So how do you move the ball in bunches?
Well, I think you kind of do a combination of two things. You can run the ball a little bit. You can do a little play action, get them off their heels because they're expecting you just to run the ball all night. So you could surprise them. Throw the ball downfield because Vero Beach did the exact same thing. Give them a taste of their own medicine, you know. And so this is what's going to have to happen. This formation here definitely shows run, but you could do some trickery out of here.
You can, and there's going to be a run on the outside. It's about 6-7 yards. It was X-Man Corbin on the carry.
Once again, we would like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It was definitely appreciative.
Yeah, I do think that this was a highly anticipated matchup, and just as fans would like to see this one, I did too. So, great matchup regardless of the final in this one. Both teams showed up. We saw exciting plays from both sides. And Eau Gallie, I think that when this one ends, they're going to have a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth if they do not come back and finish this one. However, you got to look forward. You got Rockledge next week. You got some big-time games coming up. This is going to be a daunting schedule, so one loss, especially against a very talented Vero Beach team, is not going to kill your season. You just got to look forward and really be ready for what's to come. Rockledge, Heritage, the First Academy, they've got some games coming up on the schedule. And as the fans might have been a little bit curious, we have a 10-10 ball game between Cocoa and Merritt Island in the fourth quarter. What an exciting game that is. And if you want to tune into that one, head over to that game that is also on the Space Coast Daily Facebook and YouTube. Anyone interested in that Heritage Titusville game, Heritage is clinging to a 19-13 lead as Titusville is wanting to try to come back in that one. And then in the backyard brawl, Rockledge winning 21-14 over Viera in the third quarter. That one's always a good game. So a lot of good games around the county. And that was number 0, TJ Monroe, able to scamper up to the 45. And
he's hurt too,
yeah, he's down. And Terry, that's kind of what happens when you try to fight for 4 and 5 more yards is injuries can happen.
Yeah, and you know, it's unfortunate because he was trying to make more. He was trying to make something out of nothing, and he did score have a few more points, a few more yards on that play. But you just hate to see those injuries, Zane.
You do. So it looks like Monroe is going to be carried off the field. That was actually a former Eau Gallie Commodore great, Jared Baker, that literally carried him off the field. So Eau Gallie has about a 3rd and 3 right here. 7 minutes left in this game. Larice is going to take the snap, and he's going to throw it. And that is caught while he was held. Wow, what a spectacular grab right there by Captain Roll.
Wow, I'll tell you, that's probably the best catch of the night. And I'll tell you right now, you remember when you and I talked about this before, they're going to have to throw the ball down there. They cannot be one-dimensional if they want to stay in this game.
Well, if you don't have your starting quarterback, you can't really expect a throw on the dime, so you have to throw a 50-50 ball, give your guy a shot. Xavier Larice probably threw the best ball that he could throw right there, Terry. And Captain Roll, while being held and I mean almost tackled, comes up with that ball. What a spectacular catch.
I tell you what, when we at the airport, they always tell you to hold on to your luggage, right? Well, they didn't hold on to this luggage there because it's gone missing.
So a humongous gain right there. Eau Gallie's not going to bow down. This team is really going to fight till the end. Larice going to take the hand off.
He's doing it right in front of him every time, man.
And the Eau Gallie sideline, they're going to be preaching face mask, face mask, face mask to the referees after this game. But we got to remember, it's week 1. A face mask was not seen this play, but it could be seen this play. It was seen this play, could not be seen this play. So we're still working, and as the players and referees are still working, everybody's trying to tune it up for midseason form. TJ Monroe being carried over to the sideline. And that's going to be a false start. They'll be marching back a couple of yards.
Yeah, Coach Sands looks very frustrated right now.
With 6:08 left in this game, anything can happen. I don't want to say it's just about over yet, because the crazier things can happen at any moment. Vero Beach kind of has this one in control at the moment, but even if you see a score and possibly another score by Eau Gallie, you just want them to fight to the end. You don't want to see them give up and quit, and a Chris Sands team is going to do that. So, and
multiple flags on the field.
There's going to be some extracurricular right there. That was number 56, Jaden Jordan, that was in a tussle match. So I said earlier Seminoles, and you can see why. You hear the chant, you hear the cry, the band playing the fight song. That's Seminoles, that's Indians, that's whatever you want to call it right there, Terry.
Yeah, I thought I was back at a Florida State game for a right second. I almost stood up, but hey, I'll tell you what. I know the band is rocking, and shout out to the band. Like, they don't get a lot of credit, band and cheerleaders, so I want to shout them out as well, because they lay it out on the line as well every game and support their players out here, and they're doing a great job.
Well, you're hearing that band song play. Terry, you'll be hearing a lot of that next week as the old Crimson Tide will head to Tallahassee, and that'll be a big-time matchup. I know you're ready for that one.
I'm excited, and I cannot wait.
That's going to be the week 1 opener in Tallahassee. You couldn't ask for a better Saturday of football games. Texas and Ohio State.
You got everybody.
LSU and Clemson. Florida State and Alabama. What more can you ask for?
Notre Dame, Miami.
Notre Dame, Miami. Florida and Long Island.
That's going to be a tough battle.
It's going to be a tough battle, but if you are wanting to tune into that, Coco's finest, O.J. Ross, is actually the starting running back for Long Island. So a familiar face going to be there representing Long Island. And, of course, the Gators have multiple players from Brevard County, starting defensive tackle Jamari Lyons, a Vieira graduate. Jamari Edgecombe, a Coco graduate, walked on to that program. And then, of course, starting offensive lineman Bryce Lovett is a former Rockledge Raider. So plenty of Brevard County talent on the field for Florida and Long Island.
Yeah, definitely is.
The up snap is going to go to Xavier Corbin. He has the outside, and wow, that's a targeting in my book.
That's more than a targeting, man. That's and what baffles me, Zane, is that the referee is sitting right there watching these plays, and they don't even call it.
Now, I can't sit here and say that I would get 100% of the calls right if I were a referee, but that one's blatant right in your face. You lower your shoulder and really ram it straight into his face mask. I don't know if you call helmet to helmet because it was shoulder to helmet, but it's got to be targeting. You can't aim for the helmet. The up snap is going to go to Larice. He's going to cut up the middle. He's still fighting. They're going to push, and He's going to get down to about the 2-yard line. So with 4.5 minutes left in this one, it looks like they're going to mark him down at the 2 and give him the first down. The clock will roll.
And you want to see more sense of urgency for Eau Gallie. I know that you're down by a lot, but you're going to have to move a little bit faster than that in order to get back in this game.
Yeah, I think the inability to throw the ball is really what's killed them. Xavier Corbin's going to go outside, and he's going to get pushed out right at the 1-yard line. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a freshman that is lowering his helmet and going straight into multiple Indians. He's not afraid at all, Terry.
No, and he's definitely showed Vero Beach that I'm not afraid of you. I wasn't here last year in this game, but I'm here this year, and you're going to hear and see a lot of me in the next few years.
If you want to see a freshman showcase, tune in next week for Eau Gallie and Rockledge. You're going to see freshman Xavier Corbin as he gets into the end zone, and that is going to be his 3rd score of the night. So a trio hat trick, of course, for Xavier Corbin, a freshman scoring 3 touchdowns in his first game.
You got to give him the game ball right now. I mean, just imagine that. Last year you were in 8th grade. Now you out here playing against seniors, sophomores, and juniors, and you scored 3 touchdowns in a game that is probably one of the most coveted games of the season.
Yeah, if big brother Jay Sean is tuning into this one, or I know he's going to hear about it, but if Jay Sean is tuned into this one, you can't be more proud. Your younger brother in his first official high school game scores 3 touchdowns, and one of them being a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So a really bright future. But as I mentioned a moment ago, tune in next week. We have Rockledge and Eau Gallie at Eau Gallie. That's going to be a freshman sensation matchup. You have Jay Sean Corbin's younger brother Xavier Corbin on Eau Gallie's side, and you have former Rockledge Raider great Jalen Mitchell's younger cousin Elijah Mitchell on the Rockledge Raider side, who's really already shown a lot, especially in that kickoff classic, scoring 2 touchdowns. So I guess it's 9th grader sensation day.
Hey, the 9th graders are showing up. They said, hey, we know we're young, but we're ready.
They are. They are ready. So we are now down to 4:05 in the 4th quarter. Vero Beach still holding a 2-score lead as the 2-point conversion attempt right there by Larice was no good. Expecting to see the onside kick is Vero Beach, so they're going to stack that far side of the field. And really, regardless if Eau Gallie recovers this or not, you got to love the effort. You lose your starting quarterback, and you're doing your best. So that one's hopping around. Vero Beach is going to claim it. So
yeah, that was a very awkward bounce. I thought Eau Gallie was at an opportunity to get that, but it, bounced back into Vero Beach's hands.
To the kicker's credit, that was actually a really good onside kick.
Yeah.
And when you're doing an onside kick, it's pretty tricky because you want the ball to bounce a lot, but you don't want it to bounce far.
You want it to bounce high.
Exactly. So
yeah, thank you everybody for watching too, who's tuning in. Ryan, Robin, Tiana, Rosemary, Orville. Orville's back on. Thanks, Orville, for watching, man. We love you, brother.
a shout out to Orville Susong and Steve Wilson, the Hall of Famers of the Space Coast Daily Friday Night Locker Room. Latravius Woods going to take that handoff, and he's got room outside.
And they're going to get number 10 for Vero Beach for holding, because that was the reason why he was able to get on the outside, Zane. He was holding the defensive back. So good call by the referee.
Yeah, that was a good call right there. We are now down to the 3:55 mark in this one. And really, time's running out for the Commodores. However, you still can fight and make this respectable I don't think that Eau Gallie ever felt out of this matchup until they coughed that one up and gave the Indians that early third quarter score. Would you say so, Terry?
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that one, Zane. And it kind of like, set the wind out of them right there.
It did, and wow, that's going to be some room to run, and I think it's coming back again for another hold.
It definitely is. I mean, and that's the reason why he was able to run through that hole, because he was getting held.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if I was the running back, I'd probably need some holds because I'll tell you right now, these Eau Gallie guys are going to get off their block, and they're going to tackle me before I get out in the open field. So that's going to be big number 51 for Eau Gallie, Tai-Shun Lang. That was shaken up right there.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Sands, you look up at the scoreboard and say, okay, this may not go in our favor this game, but there's a lot of football left, like you and I discussed before. And you go back and you tell these players, like, hey, this one game doesn't define our season. We still have a goal, and we can go out there and meet our goal and achieve it.
Trainer for the Eau Gallie Commodores, Luke Lemaire, running out there telling Lang, dude, you got to get on the sideline and catch your breath. If you're injured, just be injured. And that's a live ball. And Eau Gallie's going to recover that inbounds.
Wow, that was a little tricky there.
It was. That throw is behind the line of scrimmage, behind the receiver, and Eau Gallie's going to get the ball with 3:03 left in this game, and they have the ball at the 30-yard line, Terry. You score in one or two plays right here, you still got a ball game.
Do you feel that, Zane? That momentum that's shifting over your way?
I don't know where it came from, but I know it's on the Eau Gallie sideline right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a momentum shift.
So with 3:03 left in this ball game, Eau Gallie's going to take over on offense at the 30-yard line of Vero Beach. They're still down 16, but a two-score game nonetheless. Larice is going to take the handoff right up the middle, and that's got to be a penalty right there. The whistle was already blown, and Larice gets thrown to the ground right there. You can see Larice is frustrated, Terry, and rightfully so.
Yeah, he's definitely frustrated, but he's got to keep his head on. And the ref did miss that call, but you're still down by a few points, so you can definitely get out here and score, and that'll make it all better.
You score right here, and if you get the two-point conversion, you're still really, really in this game. With 3 timeouts, you get a stop and can get the ball back and make this game very, very interesting. You go into overtime. Larice is going to throw it deep, and that's got to be a pass interference. They're not going to call that. I'm a little bit shocked about that one, Terry. You got a cornerback down for Vero Beach. But I'm a little bit shocked about that one, Terry. We're going to take a short little break as the gentleman for Vero Beach is injured. We're going to have an injury timeout. Terry, I'm a little bit interested about that one. You saw the wide receiver had 2 hands on him. The defensive back had 2 hands on him, didn't allow him to get back to the ball. The calls just are not going Eau Gallie's way tonight.
Yeah, and we talked about this before. There are some key calls that the referees miss, and this was just another one. And this is week 1 as well, but you're going to have to call a game better than this because the magnitude of this game is big.
Very.
So you don't want to be decided over you having missed calls, and that's what's been happening. We've seen personally that the referee has missed 3 key calls. You got to do better than that.
So now with 2:12 left in this one, we have a 3rd down and 9. If you're Eau Gallie right here, I don't think that you throw it deep. I think you run your runs and you try to pick up probably 8, 9. I mean, if you can pick up the first down, pick up the first down. but get as much yards as you can and go for it on fourth down. It's going to be Corbin on the outside, and he is going to get right near the first down.
He fell on the ball, too, so he might have got the wind knocked out of him, too. We saw that when he fell on the ball. So
Yep, he got the wind knocked out of him. We're going to have an injury timeout, and trainer for the Eau Gallie Commodores, Luke Lemaire, he's been running out there quite a bit tonight, Terry.
You know what? I have to be honest with you with this young man, Corbin. I don't know how many yards he has. We all know how many touchdowns he has. But he's been running up and down this field tonight. And if there's any bright side, any positive things, you ask a freshman to come out here and perform on Friday night in front of a big, huge crowd, and he did just that. So you got to look at some of the moral things, the moral victories. You know, a lot of people don't like the moral victories. But if you bring in a freshman to come out here and do what he's doing on this field, you got to be excited about the upcoming games.
You do, and with 2 minutes left in this ball game, as long as you score another touchdown, or, I mean, whether you score another touchdown or not, you've made the game respectable. So Larice is going to throw that one into double coverage, and it was nearly picked off. I don't think you throw that one, Terry. I think that you pump fake that and you take it around the side and go to the house.
Yeah, but if you look at it, Zane, the middle is wide open.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do a wheel route, or just make sure that one of the wide receivers is laying right in the middle because it's open.
So that's the difficulty right there of having a non-quarterback playing quarterback, is the reads aren't going to be exactly what they should, and the throws are not going to be as accurate either. So Larice takes this one down the left sideline, and he's going to be charging. And a little bit of extracurricular again. This is getting chippy. You mentioned, Terry, these teams do not like each other.
Not at all. And I told you before, Vero Beach took offense to that loss last year by 2 points. So they're trying to do whatever they can to say, hey, that was a fluke last year. Now you're back at our home turf, and we're showing you what we can do to you tonight. And this is without the quarterback that everyone's been talking about, wonderful champ Mons. They've been winning this game without the star quarterback.
Another direct snap up the middle is Larice, and he's going to pick up the first down, I believe. Yeah, referee signaling for the first down.
A lot of injuries by Eau Gallie. They've suffered tons of injuries tonight in this game.
Slow to get up is Jaden Jordan for the Eau Gallie Commodores. And as you mentioned, Terry, banged up is these Commodores. And next week, you got Rockledge coming to town. You cannot be down your best players. So that's going to be a run down to the 1 yard line. That was number 3, Lucas Viselli. Was not able to get in there. A timeout, I believe, right there.
Which is smart. You got a minute and 27 seconds left, and you're down 41-25. You score here, do another onside kick, hope to get the ball, and see what happens.
Well, if you score right here, you got to get the 2-point conversion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to get the 2-point conversion if you want to be able to tie this ball game. So really a crucial play right here. They're at the 1 yard line. Now, Vero Beach could end up stuffing this play right here and stopping them, but you would assume that the Commodore front can get a good enough push and they'll be able to get in here for a touchdown, but that puts you at 31.
Yeah.
And you need the 2-point conversion to get to 33 and make this an 8-point game, and things will still be interesting.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. And what you haven't noticed, Eau Gallie likes to run the ball on the left side, and I think Vero Beach has kind of figured that out. So shake it up and run it on the other side.
The snap is going to go to Viselli, and that is stopped in the backfield.
I think that's going to be that's a holding call there. So but judging by the ref, there might be a face mask as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're signaling for a face mask. They're talking to Coach Chris Sands right now. It's a personal foul on the Indians. So automatic first down. They'll be at the inch-yard line. The snap to Vaselli, and he is going to get in on a face mask. Wow, he was ripped around right there, but nonetheless, he got in for a score.
Like you mentioned before, Zane, he has to get this 2-point conversion, right? This is what Eau Gallie is going to have to do in order to make it a game.
They do. They really have to make this right here in order to have a chance to win this game. I think you can kind of say right now, if they don't get this 2-point conversion, that's ball game.
Well, stranger things have happened. I've seen, I don't know if you remember this, but this is in basketball, but I saw Reggie Miller scored 9 points in like 6 or 7 seconds. So
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
And the 2-point conversion is no good. And really, when they bunch the box like that, don't run up the middle. Run something outside. And honestly, I think that's a perfect time to run a speed option. You already have so much speed anyway. You have that bunch formation.
Yeah.
Hand it off, and then let 2 guys run out, and you have a play where you can pitch it or keep it and have a chance at really scoring that 2-point conversion. So 31-41, we're going to see another onside kick here for the Commodores.
And if I was Eau Gallie, I would probably kick the onside kick on the other side. So if I was, but they're going to go back to what they felt comfortable with, but I probably would have kicked it on the other side. That's the high bounce you wanted. That's the high bounce. That was the high bounce that you wanted, Zane.
It was exactly how you wanted it. But once again, Vero Beach able to pounce on the ball and claim the possession.
They definitely have an opportunity to get that ball, but it didn't work out in their favor. But it was there.
It was there, Terry, and that's one of those unfortunate plays that the ball just didn't bounce your way.
Yeah.
So Vero Beach will take over. 1:10 left in this ball game. 31-41. You can kind of expect a couple of runs to try to end this thing for the Vero Beach Indians. Got to give a lot of respect to the Indians. They came out ready to play this one to get their get back from a year ago and win this one. But you also got to acknowledge Eau Gallie's effort. They were just down by 3 touchdowns, 41-19 moments ago, and have now really made this a respectable game without their starting quarterback, Joseph Allen, which they're going to hope to get him back next week. They hope that injury isn't too severe. But nonetheless, a great win for the Vero Beach Indians faithful, as the time is ticking down. We are at 50 seconds. Coach Sands is not going to be calling any of his timeouts here, as it's at this point it's pretty much pointless. They are going to get into
the victory.
The V is the victory formation. And take a knee. And that will do it in this one. So a final of 41-31 here for the Vero Beach Indians. Terry, I think all around that this was a great game. I don't think that we would have liked both quarterbacks to get injured. We would have wanted to see both of them in, and shoot, we would have saw a higher scoring game.
Yeah, because it was already a high scoring game, but I believe if both players were in, we probably would have saw 50 plus or 60 plus points on this game tonight.
Definitely could have. So all around a great game. Vero Beach is going to take the victory in this one. They will move to 1-0. In a couple of weeks, they'll be seeing another Brevard County foe as the Cocoa Tigers will be coming to town. So a great matchup nonetheless. Eau Gallie will fall to 0-1. Vero Beach will go to 1-0. Next week, the Eau Gallie Commodores will have Rockledge at home. And if many people are wanting to know, Cocoa is down 17-10 to Merritt Island. Titusville has tied the game 19-19 with Heritage, and that one is in overtime. And the Rockledge Raiders are still clinging to a 21-17 lead. But from here at Billy Livings Field, home of the Vero Beach Indians, it is the Vero Beach Indians 41, the Eau Gallie Commodores 31. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, I am Zane Garcia. Terry, do you have any final comments for this one?
Yeah, I mean, everybody anticipated this was going to be a good game, and it was until both quarterbacks, so you can't really, judge this game as much. You could say that both teams have great players, and we saw freshmen grow right in front of our eyes today, and then we saw some seniors and everybody that contributed on the field. But shout out to Vero Beach and their fans. They came out today in record numbers, and like I mentioned to you before, Zane, when I was on the field, all I kept hearing was these fans saying, "Hey, are you from Eau Gallie?" And I said, "Well, I'm one of the broadcasters." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna beat y'all because we want our get back." We were still disappointed about that. Even the police officers was coming and talking trash to me, and I was like, "Hey, I'm broadcasting the game. I'm neutral."
Yep.
And but I know they have to feel really great about winning this game. They wanted this one. They circled this one, but they don't only want this game. As you mentioned before, they want Cocoa. Cocoa is the state champions, back to back to back. And so if they can bring Cocoa here and beat them, yeah, they're going to poke their chest out a little bit more.
A lot of respect going to starting quarterback Joseph Allen. A lot of good sportsmanship from the Vero Beach coaches, staff, players coming over to Mr. Allen and telling him that they wish him the best of luck and hope that he gets healthy. This is going to be a long season, so you want to see the best players be able to stay healthy for both sides. So hopefully Joseph Allen will be back healthy and ready to go later this season. Same thing with Champ Mons the fourth for the Vero Beach Indians. So once again here from Billy Livings Field, Citrus Bowl, home of the Vero Beach Indians. Terry Spain, I am Zane Garcia from the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. We will see you later and see you next week. And